Tonight, something is going to make you feel sick. Maybe it already has. A smell, a memory, a bumpy car ride, a bad plate of food, or just the wrong kind of anxiety on a Sunday afternoon. And for the next few minutes, maybe hours, your body is going to hijack you completely. You won't be able to stop it. You'll just wait. But here's the strange part. That feeling, that unstoppable biological takeover, is one of the oldest survival systems in your body. Older than language, older than fear. And the reason it exists is both more elegant and more unsettling than you've probably been told. This is the story of vomiting, and it starts 500 million years ago. Every vertebrate on Earth, fish, reptiles, birds, mammals, has some version of a vomit reflex. Every single one. That's not an accident. That's a blueprint. Something that ancient, something that universal, doesn't stick around unless it's doing something really important. The question is, what exactly? Because here's what's fascinating. For most of human history, nobody could agree on where the signal came from. Doctors knew that certain poisons caused vomiting. They knew that motion, pregnancy, fear, even certain smells could trigger it. But the actual mechanics, the neural wiring, the command structure, remained completely unknown well into the 20th century. We just knew it happened. We didn't know why the body chose this particular response over any other. And then in 1952, at the University of Toronto, a pharmacologist named Herbert Borison started poking around in brainstems. Not metaphorically, literally. He and his colleague Susan Wang were trying to understand why certain drugs, morphine, digitalis, chemotherapy precursors, made people vomit even when injected directly into the bloodstream, bypassing the stomach entirely. That didn't make sense. If vomiting was a stomach response to bad food, why would a drug in your blood trigger it? They found the answer in a tiny cluster of neurons at the base of the brainstem, a region so small you could cover it with a fingernail. Borison called it the Chemoreceptor Trigger Zone, the CTZ. And what it does is sit outside the blood-brain barrier. Most of your brain is protected, sealed off from whatever's circulating in your bloodstream. But the CTZ is exposed, on purpose. It's designed to taste your blood. It's constantly sampling what's flowing through you, checking for chemical signatures of danger, toxins, pathogens, foreign compounds. The moment it detects something wrong, it fires a signal to a command center a few millimeters away, a region called the area postrema. And that region sends one message to your body: get it out, now. Let that sink in. You have a part of your brain that does nothing but wait for poison. And here's where it gets strange. Because the CTZ is just one of 3 completely separate systems that can trigger vomiting. 3 independent channels, all feeding into the same command center, all capable of launching the same response. The second channel is the vestibular system, the balance organs in your inner ear. When what your eyes see and what your body feels don't match, the vestibular system interprets that mismatch as a signal that something is neurologically wrong. Car sickness, seasickness, VR nausea. Your brain doesn't know about cars or ships or video games. It just knows input doesn't match reality. Historically, that meant one thing: you've been poisoned. Toxins that affect the nervous system can cause exactly that kind of sensory distortion. So the body does what it always does: get it out. The third channel is the one nobody talks about: the vagus nerve, a massive cranial nerve that runs from your brainstem all the way down through your chest, your heart, your lungs, and deep into your gut. The vagus nerve monitors your entire digestive tract in real time. Every stretch receptor, every chemical detector in your small intestine and stomach, they all report back up the vagus. And the gut is paranoid in a very specific way. If it detects certain bacterial toxins, certain irritants, certain patterns of distension that suggest dangerous fermentation is happening, it pulls the alarm. But here's what's fascinating about the vagus channel. Researchers at the University of Rochester discovered in the 1990s that the gut doesn't just report physical threat. It also responds to emotional states. Fear, grief, overwhelming stress. The gut has more serotonin receptors than your brain. When your emotional state reaches a certain threshold, when the body reads the situation as genuinely dangerous, the gut joins the alarm system. That's why people vomit before performances, before confrontations, in grief. The body isn't being dramatic. It's doing the only thing it knows how to do with that level of threat signal: prepare to survive. Now let's pause here, because 3 separate systems, blood chemistry, balance, and gut feeling, all converge on the same response. That's not redundancy. That's a design philosophy. The body is saying, I don't care where the threat comes from. I don't care if it's in your blood, your ear, or your stomach. If any sensor says danger, we run the same protocol. And the protocol itself is extraordinary. Most people think vomiting is just the stomach contracting. It's not. In 1990, a physiologist named Alan Miller published a detailed mechanical breakdown of the emetic sequence, the precise order of events that happens in the seconds before you vomit. First, a deep breath. Then the glottis, the opening to your airway, seals shut. Your soft palate rises to close off your nasal passage. Then your diaphragm and abdominal muscles contract simultaneously, creating a violent pressure spike inside your chest and abdomen. The lower esophageal sphincter, normally a one-way valve, gets overridden by that pressure, and contents move upward. The whole thing takes about 2 seconds. It's a precisely choreographed mechanical event. Every muscle involved has a specific role. The timing is exact. This didn't evolve by accident. This took hundreds of millions of years to optimize. So that settles it, right? Vomiting is just a poison ejection system. Well, not quite, because there's a layer to this that complicates everything. Humans vomit at things that aren't toxic. We vomit at the sight of blood, at certain sounds, at descriptions of disgusting things, at memories, at photographs. Some people vomit from migraines. No toxin, no motion, no gut irritation. Just pain signals arriving at the wrong place in the brainstem. And then there's the most confusing category of all, anticipatory nausea. Cancer patients receiving chemotherapy begin to feel sick before treatment, just from entering the hospital. The smell of the room, the sight of the nurse. The brain has learned the context so thoroughly that it launches the protocol in anticipation. This is where the system starts to look less like a simple alarm and more like a prediction engine. The body isn't just reacting to poison, it's modeling future poison. It's running simulations. It's saying, last time I was in this environment, something bad happened. I'm going to prepare now before it's too late. And honestly, that tells you something strange and profound about what vomiting actually is. It's not a failure. It's not your body breaking down. It's your body being almost too smart, too cautious. 300 million years of survival logic running in the background, pattern matching your environment to every bad experience your evolutionary ancestors ever had. The problem is that the world changed faster than the system could update. Cars didn't exist for long enough to teach your vestibular system that motion without effort is safe. Anxiety didn't evolve a separate protocol because anxiety and genuine physical danger used to feel the same, because they were the same. And chemotherapy drugs are new enough that the CTZ has no way of distinguishing them from ancient plant toxins. It just sees foreign compounds in your blood and does its job. So here's what's actually happening the next time you feel that wave. 3 ancient systems, built across 500 million years, are converging on a single conclusion. Something is wrong and we need to fix it right now. They don't know that it's just a bumpy road, or a stressful email, or a drug that's supposed to be there. They only know their protocol, and they follow it. Your body is not betraying you. It's protecting you the only way it knows how, with the oldest software it has. You just happen to live in a world that keeps triggering false alarms.